Kibbe here. Matt, I'm watching all this politics go down, and Chris Christie, that whole kind of faction, if you will, saying, keep the social issues out of it. And then you hear from the young conservatives out there, the ones that are more standing with Cruz or someone like that, and they're saying it's kind of hard to exercise the social issues from the fiscal issue because social issues, by the way, cost money. What is your opinion on this?
I think this, first of all, this is a healthy fight, and it reminds me of what Reagan did in '76 when he came in and primaried a Republican president. It reminds me of the fights we had in 1994 and 2010. I think Republicans win when they stand for something, and they certainly know they need to understand how to communicate our values, and they need to be willing to reach out to people that disagree with us. But that doesn't mean that you run a campaign about nothing. And I think Ted Cruz was talking about that yesterday. And this idea that, and you see it at the Republican National Convention, you see a little bit of it here, this sort of issueless, valueless presentation. It looks more like a beauty contest instead of a debate about serious issues that really matter in America.
And it seems to me like, and just a follow-up question on that, it seems to me like middle America is really wanting to have this conversation, but it's almost like the elite in Washington, D.C. want to shut it down. Don't you think that contributes to the sort of plasticness, plastic perception, I guess, of our politics in the beginning? And what do you think this does for the cynicism?
Yeah, it's as if the GOP is afraid to say anything about anything. And I think Republicans and conservatives are struggling more to understand how the world works today. It's very decentralized. More and more people are not affiliating with either party. They're becoming independent. And it's not because they don't care. It's because they care more about issues and values than they do about partisan affiliation. And so a more decentralized approach, stop choosing our candidates behind smoke-filled doors, we believe in competition, right? We believe that consumers should be able to choose. And yet, when we do our politics, it's like a Soviet grocery store. Hey, here's your choice. You can buy it.
Right. Now we're hearing Jeb Bush. Lord have mercy. What do you think of that?
Not another Bush, please.
And why?
Is he even here?
In my lifetime, it seems like we've run Bob Dole about a dozen times. And he loses every time. And the day after
there's the title.
And the day after, we're like, what just happened? Why did we lose? It's because Bob Dole and John McCain and bless his heart, Mitt Romney, they didn't authentically represent the values that turn out our guys.
Who, in a perfect world, is your choice and FreedomWorks' choice?
Well, I'm going to punt on that because if you look at the field for 2016, it's so much more awesome than the field in 2012. And we have repopulated the Republican Party with all sorts of young, energetic people that represent those values. I mean, obviously, I love Rand Paul and Ted Cruz. I love Scott Walker. I'm still a big Marco Rubio guy. I know some guys aren't anymore. But if you look at the whole field, it's so much better than virtually anybody in the field in 2012. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but that's the point.
Ahead.
That's the point. We've repopulated the Republican Party, and it's just like Reagan did in '76 when he shook everything up, sort of hosed out the barn, and said, "Let's do this over again." That's where we are in 2016.
So, Matt, if the Democrats have succeeded in branding the Republicans and the Tea Party, and they're demonizing them, and they've succeeded in doing that to the general, population. If you could press the reset button, like Hillary Clinton did with Russia, if you could press that reset button and rebrand or get a whole new idea for the Republican Party, what would that be? What do you think would be the best direction?
So I think that I would always resist trying to do that from the top down. I think the Tea Party was going to get rebranded by the New York Times no matter what we did, and the reason they did it is because it was really effective. And it was really scary to the radical left, and it really made a difference in elections. So they are going to smear us when we matter.
Right.
But I think that the brand should come from the bottom up. I think it should authentically represent the values of our coalition, and I don't think some focus group or some K Street PR shop is going to solve that problem for us.
Matt, you're helping our buddy Dan Bongino in Maryland. You're helping. FreedomWorks is doing a lot of amazing, great stuff for the people who care about America, unlike some of the others on our side. Where can people find you? What can they do to help you?
Go to freedomworks.org and please, on FreedomWorks for America, which is our super PAC, check out our candidates, because we quite often support the underdogs, the guys like the Mike Lees and the Ted Cruzes who wouldn't have won without grassroots support and grassroots financial support too.
Right.
Matt Kibbe.
Thanks, Sharon.